Okay. Let's try this again. Like I said, I'm sorry, everybody. I don't know why the PC. I've been having these constant issues where it's just I could tell the internet speed's usually fine, but the PC itself just acts very weird, and I don't know what causes the problem. No, it was my PC. I'm very confused as to why whenever I try to do anything, the PC just slows down, and I haven't really done much to it. So I, I'm not sure what the case is there. So yeah, it was not. It was nobody's connection. It was on me. So that means I'll just have to restart the race because I had to switch over to the laptop. But let me let me make a quick post just to explain the situation here. So I had to switch to my laptop. Here's the new link. There we go. And I'll post it on Twitter real quick, and then I will restart the race real quick. Yeah, I apologize. I don't know what causes the problem with the PC, but just for whatever reason, the internet just I don't know if it's like the internet, but it automatically just the connection slows down. And it's not even the internet here because I had my Ethernet cable and everything connected, so I don't know what would have caused the problem. So it's something I'm just gonna have to invest time and look into because I've been trying to figure out what's been happening, and yeah. So I'll go ahead and restart the race real quick and go from there. So let me get NR 2003 booted back up, and we will resume or I guess restart the race. At least we were only like 2 laps in, but that's not correct. So give me a second here. Okay, let me. I want to make sure I'm not. Window capture. NR done. Okay. Sorry, I've just been having a scramble here. Okay, cool. Now just give me 1 second here to make one last adjustment, and I will get this race going. So again, I apologize for the inconvenience. It's just something weird with my PC. Like I said, I don't really know why it causes that. It's really hard to explain, but like the internet will act fine in everything else, but the PC itself just I don't know what it is. Like after I use it for a bit, the connection itself on it slows down, and I'm like, what's causing the problem? So I don't know. It's just something I'm gonna have to look into. There we go. I want to make sure I got my 1999 truck sorted out. Yeah, okay. Nope, that's not right. There we go. Okay.
Drivers, to your cars.
Ken Schrader and Stacy Compton on the pole. This is... Yeah, okay. How many ideas... Oh, turn down the volume on this thing. Turn that down. Okay. How many ideas had you in mind in SNL, but decided to scrap because someone else used them? I wouldn't say it's because somebody used them. It was just, sometimes I look at something and go, is this really going to be a good idea? Is it not going to be a good idea? It's hard to say, you know. Sorry, mind's scrambling right now. But basically, yeah, it just comes down to, is this going to work? Is this realistic? Does it make sense? You know, or do we want to do something else? That kind of a thing. Let me know, by the way, do I sound good to you guys? Like, connection-wise and everything? Like, my voice sounds good? Please let me know. So, you know, just in case. Because technology can be rough sometimes. Sounds perfect. Okay, good. So yeah, like I said, I have the Ethernet plugged into my laptop, and it's working fine.
Drivers, start your engines!
But for whatever reason on the PC, and it's been an on and off problem since I bought it like a couple years ago, it's just been, the internet is just slow on it. So I don't, it's got to be a problem with the PC and its network or something like that, and I just need to figure out what's going on there, because I'd like to stream on the PC more and, you know, make my life a little easier, not having to put so much on a laptop that I've had for 7 years. But yeah, there's that. Alright, so we got Schrader and Compton on the pole for, I guess, take 2. and all that. I have to do a little double duty here. Alright. Alright, let me know, what do you think of 71 drivers trying to qualify for an online race? And I think they really just... I think it really just shows how influential this game is, even all these years later. And I think it's been passed on from generation to generation. There's a lot of people who, you know, still enjoy this game, even to this day, which is great. So, all right. Take 2. Let's see what happens here. It would be smart of me if I could actually show you guys the race. Like I said, my mind is just all over the place right now because I had such an unexpected problem. But, okay. It's the race showing. Perfect. Okay. So like I said, this is the 99 Truck Series at Indianapolis. Like I said previously. And then I'll talk about the updates for Sunday Night Lights 2000, discuss other things, and then go into the next mock race that I'll run today. So Let's see. Okay. So as long as everything sounds and looks good, we'll keep this rolling. So, like I said, I wanted to get to streaming this weekend. So I felt like I owe you guys a stream and stuff like that. So feel free to share it around and let people know that I had to do a quick restart and stuff like that. Excuse me. So we got one of the drivers who qualifies as a fueler for club. Oh, cool! Yeah, I've been around the ARCA garage a few times. I know what you're talking about. Brad Smith Motorsport. Okay, nice. So, Jack Sprague about to take the lead from Ken Schrader. You see Tim Richmond and Brian Refner up there in the mix. Looks like Schrader's starting to drop back a little bit as we're 3 laps into this 40-lap race. Yeah, the Hendrick car scheme is basically kind of a throwback to the old GMAC paint schemes from the early 2000s. Yeah, in case you're wondering, GMAC is practically now Ally Financial. In case you guys didn't know that, who of course sponsors Hendrick in real life. So they've sponsored Jimmy Johnson and of course now Alex Bowman. So like I said, thank you guys for being patient. I apologize sincerely for that mishap. I don't know. Like I said, this is something I'm gonna have to look into and see what the heck happened. So I apologize for that. New leader Brian Refner in the 44. Tim Richmond going for second from Jack Sprague. No early wrecks so far, unlike the initial first attempt. You have a side-by-side battle for second just about, but Richmond's going to hang on. Schrader back on the move. Scott Lagasse going past his teammate Michael Waltrip, also entering the mix. Richmond trying to get the lead here. The Refner will hang on. Michael Waltrip looking for fifth. Hello again, Corvette. Well, you know, I think trucks can be a mixture of the rookies and the veterans, and I think it creates a very unique dynamic for sure. It's kind of like in any of the other sports leagues, you know. There's players out there who've, you know, been really good role players in minor league baseball and stuff like that, you know. Schrader now leading. My favorite racing Infinity. That's a good question. I don't know what That's a good question. I mean, there's a lot of good ones that I've been really proud of putting together. So it's hard to really choose. It's really hard to choose what's the best one. I will say, by the way, the Decade of Dale Racing Infinity Volume 30 just recently hit 2,000. It's actually at 25 views right now. 2025. But, yeah, so thank you guys for that. That video went really, really, really well. So thank you so much. And by far, it is the most viewed Racing Infinity video, just to let you guys know. So, yeah, by far, it's definitely the most viewed Racing Infinity. So again, thank you guys so much for that. I'm glad you guys really enjoyed that one. So, really, that one I was definitely proud of. But again, there's a lot of good ones. I think the one I did... Hold on, let me go back, because I'm looking at the playlist. I've done 33 of them, so sometimes I may forget. One of the early favorites, I think, is probably a No Bull Farewell, Volume 9. That was... because I think it just worked out perfectly. Because Dale Earnhardt... Because, I set it up like this is his final race, and he ended up winning it, so... That was cool. That was pretty cool, but... there's a lot of them that I'm proud of, so... Like I said, I'm glad you guys enjoy them, and, and I will say that this weekend I'm going to get cracking on Racing Infinity Volume 33. This one I was trying to kind of figure out what I wanted to do, and now that there's a set-in-stone idea, and we're going to make that a reality for sure, so... You should make a second episode to the No Bull Farewell. I think there's room for, second episodes and third episodes of different things, just depending on, what makes the most sense and all that, so. Yeah, and Junior finished second, that's right. So, that was just one of those things where it's was the game self-aware? There are just moments that I have done, and whether it's Racing Infinity or Sunday Night Lights, and I just sit there and I go, did the game know? Is NR 2003 self-aware? I have those moments and I think to myself, yeah. And like I said, depending on things that happen in the future in SNL, who knows? I can't really, let's see. Can't really tell you what's going to happen next, but again, I'll talk a little bit about SNL 2000 after this race. It was based off the one from Racing Infinity Volume 32, but, yeah, it was based off of that a little bit, so... I just really liked how that scheme looked, to be honest with you, with the gradient and the white and black and stuff like that. NR 2003 is self-aware. It knows how to piss you off. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It knows how to piss you off, so... Yeah. What female drivers do you expect to see in SNL 2025? Whew! I don't know. We're quite some ways from that, aren't we? Who knows? It's hard to say. There's a lot of different possibilities. Maybe Tony Breidinger, maybe Hailie Deegan pans out better, maybe Gracie Trotter. Who knows? So, like I said, I could not begin to imagine what 2025 will look like in Sunday Night Lights. I made a joke to myself when I was at Daytona. It's like, all right, who's going to win the 2025 500 for Team Sabco? Since Sabco is pretty much becoming this timeline's Hendrick. Hendrick's still good, but Sabco has kind of been like the elite team. So, 40, let me think here. Give me a second here. 45-year-old Adam Petty wins the 500. I think that's all he would have been now. Jamie Chadwick, Catherine Legg. Yeah. You never know. There's definitely a lot of different possibilities, and it's just one of those things where it's a wait and see kind of thing. So currently Refner leads. Now we're on lap number 14. Like I said, you're talking about 2025 in this timeline. I can't even tell you what frickin' 2003 is going to look like, you know? I saw somebody do, they asked ChatGPT to predict the next 75 NBA champions. And it was just as cracked as you could think, because, like, apparently it predicted, like, it was like, oh yeah, the Seattle Sonics should come back, but also, like, they had a team in Beijing win a championship, and I was like, huh? So, Petty wins 8,500. Ganassi go look cursed without Sapko since there's... Yeah, I mean, Sapko, as I've said before, Sapko's good on its own. You know, it's turned out to be a powerhouse of a team, and it's going to be interesting within the next 5 years or so in this timeline what, you know, that team's going to shape out to be, because, you know, Patty's approaching 40, Kyle Petty's getting older, so just something to think about. You know, I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen, but it's just something to think about, like, you know, what's the future of, you know, what's the next 10, 15 years going to look like for that team, you know, and other teams as well, so. Yeah, fun stuff is ahead for sure. Let's see. But yeah. Trying to remember what type of PC this is. I'll just have to take a look after the stream. Adam Petty might be in his retirement tour. Yeah, I was going to say, like, Adam Petty probably would have raced until the early, maybe mid-2020s. Because I think now he would have been like 45 or something like that. You know. Man, can you imagine alternate timeline where Adam Petty and Jimmy Johnson are running Legacy Motor Club? That'd be something. How much work has been put into 2001? Well, there are some very preliminary ideas. I'll say that, but obviously it's one of those things where it's like we want to get through 2000 first, and then after everything's done there, then we can figure out what this 2001, what's that going to look like, and stuff like that. Obviously trying to piece together certain big things are going to happen in 01 and all that, so I would say a lot of it's very preliminary. You know, very, very early. Man, the lead has changed quite a bit here in Indy. Every time I'm doing this, doing that, looking at the chat, and I know the lead changes. I see the lead change, and I'm like, huh. Who would they have driving for Legacy? I mean, you know, oh, looks like we got some pit stops happening. There's an alternate timeline where Adam stayed with Petty and he's like a 4-time champ. Yeah, it's hard to say how Adam would have done in our world if he had stayed alive. Because obviously Petty wasn't that great. And the question is, you know, would he have tried to turn that team around? Would he have gone elsewhere? Kind of like what Junior did leaving DEI. So, there's so many possibilities. As I've said before, there are just infinite possibilities of things that could have happened or things that could have gone a certain way. you can only think so much about, like, if this had happened, then that could have happened. Like I've always said how, like, one little moment can change everything, right? Like I said, let's see, I'm trying to think of something. Like, for example, Patty Moyes winning that race in 1989 in Michigan in this timeline, that changed everything, because now that opened up the door, a huge door, for female drivers, and Patty went on to find success. And that led to Shauna Robinson turning into the megastar that she has become, and now it's led to the likes of Kelly Earnhardt and Tammy Jo Kirk running in the Cup Series. So it's that domino effect, and how, like, one moment can just completely alter everything. And it's just like, I remember when I had Patty win that race, I sat there and I went, oh my god, this is kind of cool. Because now this kind of really shakes things up. Now we're going to see, okay, what's this going to look like? What's next? What for Patty now that she's won this Cup race? Because now it's like, and we felt like that at the time, Sapco Racing, aka Team Sapco, it just felt fitting for her to drive for a team like that. So, alright, we got green flag pit stops going on. So how long until the obligatory yellow flag during pit stops? Because that happens a lot. It's like green flag pit stops, and there's the caution. So we're about halfway through the race, and got some cars rejoining the track and all that fun stuff. I think Legacy might have the lead here, so... A 43 race schedule? Good lord. If you do that, you're probably going to need midweek races. Like I said, I think NASCAR's in a good situation in this timeline where they become a much bigger deal than in real life, and they're taken a lot more seriously. And all that, so. Deborah Miceli, is that how you say that name? Oh yeah, Camden. I've met Camden Murphy before a couple times. Nice guy, real nice guy. So, I remember I think he qualified for the Xfinity Indy race a couple of years ago. It was still on the road course, and I remember he DNQ'd, but I still got to talk to him, and he's just incredibly nice guy for sure. No midweek races. Good lord. Then that would be like running from January to December almost. Well, it's 52 weeks out of the year, so I don't know. But anyway. Who's leading here? So I think Richmond will have the lead when this is all set in stone here. I could be wrong, but... Yep, I am correct. International date in Japan. Interesting. Very interesting. Alright. The return of triple-digit numbered cars? I'm gonna say probably not, but I guess anything is possible, so... It's wild. Interesting. What is this alternate universe called? Just out of curiosity. Because I still get curious and I want to look at things and see what other people are doing, because I think that's cool. Like, I always encourage people to do their own alternate versions and their own take of things, so. It's fun. This is fun. We're having fun. Sorry, I had to. Thank you, Chris Bell, but Christopher Bell. Here's Scott Lagasse taking the lead. You know, he's stuck around with Hendrick in this timeline. He's had a pretty solid career. You know, he's been winning races, been running well, and all that good stuff. So he's been fun to watch for sure. Here comes Jimmy Johnson to the inside. Looks like Lagasse, though, is going to keep the lead. I think that's what's fun, too, in SNL is, you know, we've had guys like Jeff Brabham and Bill Lester winning championships and, you know, having success from female drivers and all that. And I just think it makes NASCAR even more appealing that, you know, it's going to make people want to tune in and watch. So, you know, it's a lot of fun. And here's Jimmy Johnson from El Cajon, California, taking the lead. I actually recently started listening to his new podcast with Marty Smith called Never Settle. I really like it. It's a really good podcast. They did an episode. It was the after the Atlanta race, and they were actually interviewing former Major League Baseball pitcher Jake Peavy. Of course, Peavy pitched for the Padres and later for the Red Sox and Giants. So it was just fun listening to some of the stories he had to share from his playing days, and some of it was really funny. But yeah, it's a really good podcast. I definitely recommend it. So it's called Never Settle with Jimmy Johnson and Marty Smith. So I'll have to listen to the new one when I can. Scott Lagasse looking to take the lead back. That didn't take too long. Yeah, that's what's crazy, because now we've gotten to the point where, you know, a lot of the drivers that I grew up watching, a lot of the drivers that I grew up watching are now starting to show up in this timeline, so I'm really intrigued to see where they all pretty much end up and stuff like that, so. Actually, I want to... Let's see, we're getting close to 10 to go almost. Scott Lagasse leading the way. Yeah, we also had some severe weather pass through here. Thankfully, the system weakened this morning, so it wasn't too bad. But I know some places down south got hit by tornadoes and all that. So. Best SNL rookie class. Well, that's a tough one. 93 was definitely pretty good, so that's a tough one. And who knows what rookie classes are to come? You know, who knows? Oh, anyway. We got a fun battle here with 10 to go. 4-car battle here between Johnson, Legacy, Refner, and Richmond. Looks like Jimmy Johnson's taking the lead back. Yeah. I'll talk about SNL 2000 after this race, but yeah, you guys will see why it's taking some time, but it'll definitely be worth it. I think you guys are gonna love it. Johnson leads with 9 laps to go. Eight laps to go for Jimmy Johnson. Well, Jimmy Johnson's still trying to hang on. Scott Legacy looking for second place. And now Legacy Looks like he'll complete the pass coming off turn 3. Turn 3, yeah. Have you ever thought of doing an unofficial sequel to Alternate History Line? I don't know. Right now I'm just kind of focused on Sunday Night Lights and Racing Infinity. I don't want to stretch things too thin or go wild on anything, but just kind of, you know, be consistent with what I'm making and stuff like that. So, you know, I think that's what's important. I know it makes no sense for real life, but Trucks at Indy is insanely fun in heat games. It's like a plate race on the straights, but you have to brake. That's interesting. I figured Trucks at the Brickyard could be kind of fun here. Coming to 5 laps to go here. Scott Lagacy now wants to lead from Jimmy, but I think Jimmy's going to hold him off here as they come off turn 4. I would say expect a 2001 teaser at the end of the video, but again, we'll get there when we get there. Johnson still trying to hang on here. Trying to hold off a charging Scott Lagacy, and potentially does Tim Richmond have anything to say for it? I just realized Brian Refner kind of just disappeared. I wonder what in the world happened to him. Lagacy to the inside of Johnson. In the 4. Lagacy still side by side. Johnson trying to hang on here. Wow, Johnson still managing on the outside. I just saw Tim Richmond pit. So it looks like we're going to have some... This looks like we have a fuel strategy race on our hands, folks. I didn't think we would. Oh, boy. So, Johnson and Lagacy could be in trouble here, especially if they keep battling like this. Four laps to go currently. Lagacy all over the back of Johnson. To the inside again into turn 3. Some lap trucks ahead. They probably pitted most likely in the 4. Lagacy dipping down. Does Johnson dip down? No. Yes, he does. So now who's going to win this race? I have no idea. A lot of the leaders coming down this time. Remember what I said about NR knowing how to piss you off? Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, oh, great, they're pitting with 3 to go. I love it. Oh, well. Fuel strategy races, they happen. So, most likely some splash and goes, I'm guessing, here. Johnson is on his way. So let's take a look here. It appears Joe Ruttman is currently listed as your leader. I'm assuming he still has to pit, though. Let's take a look here. Ruttman's still on the track. This will be a pretty big win for him if he can hang on. Coming to 2 laps to go for the 17. Imagine he's like the one guy that just manages to make it on fuel. Everybody else had to pit. That would be something. That would be something. Ruttman trying to fight his way through here. He's in a mess of lap trucks, or trucks rejoining the track. Coming to the white flag. Ruttman gets past McGlynn. Wow. Ruttman's going to be the one truck that doesn't pit. How? White flag for Joe Ruttman. Who would have thought? Jimmy Johnson is listed in second, 30 seconds back. This is insane. Because literally the rest of the leaders are up there, but Ruttman somehow is going to make this on fumes. What a walk-off this is going to be. Some way, somehow, he managed to find enough fuel to get to the finish, and he's going to steal it and walk away with this one. Joe Ruttman is going to win the truck race at the Brickyard. What a shocker. I blame the Walters using jet fuel a decade early. Yes, that's what it was. They were using jet fuel. Probably have to take that truck through post-race inspection, make sure it's good. My goodness. How? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, man. Wow. Have you ever? Them cheating Fords. Well, there's your finishing order there. Man. Well, you missed an insane end to a truck race where the entire field literally pitted with three, four laps to go, except for Joe Ruttman. And he stole it. So, yeah, that's quite something. Okay then. Well, ain't that something? So yeah, Joe Ruttman stealing the win there, some way, somehow. And we'll get the second race cracking. As a matter of fact, I think I might have to bring the track into the Trex folder, so give me a minute there. Well, while I do that, are you guys looking forward to the NCAA tournament by any chance? I know my Louisville Cardinals are playing Duke right now for the ACC championship. So, we'll see if they win that or not. I know Duke's without their best player. Okay, let me take a look here. Because the other track that I'm using for the next race is a fantasy track. Just a heads up there. Do I have... I do. Okay, that's good. I'll just have to restart the game then, no biggie. Let's see. That. Perfect. Okay. So, I'll talk about Sunday Night Lights 2000. While I restart the game here. So, I'll keep it brief. I don't want to ramble on or dive too much into it, but I will say, let me see something here. But yeah, sorry, I'm just checking something. So with SNL 2000, nothing's going to be shown until it's ready. Because, I like the element of surprise, and I want to make people think and guess, and then, engage and all that fun stuff. So, not going to show anything until it is ready. So, stay tuned for that. But we've made really good progress on it. We've already done half the series. So, Stock GT, Super Sportsman, Truck, done. We just wrapped up Trucks the other day. So, we're making good progress on that. So yeah, that's the big update there, is that, we've gotten half the race is practically done, I would say. So we're making good progress. I still cannot set in stone when the release date will be, because I'd like to at least just get the races done, get the footage recorded and everything else, and then finally sit down and go, okay, what's the timeline look like? When am I realistically going to get this video out and stuff of that nature? So, yeah. So again, Stock GT's done, Super Sportsman's done, Trucks are done. So that is the big thing there. And then the next Racing Infinity will be Volume 33. So I don't have anything to show for it yet, but it's in the works, and we have a plan. So. Took a bit of trial and error on a few things, but we finally figured out what could work. So we're gonna get cracking on that, and I'll let you guys know the updates for that and when that Racing Infinity will come out. So just something to look forward to there. Yeah, so driver won the championships. I'll let you. I'll say that. Yeah, we'll definitely say that. Let's see. Trying to think what else there is, but yeah, we're working on the next Racing Infinity to plan some last things as well. Kind of as Jet was referring to earlier. There's a reason behind it all. There's a reason. You know what the saying. There's a reason behind the madness, and yeah, stay tuned. I think you're gonna like what you see. I think you're really gonna get a kick out of it for sure. So, stay tuned for it. It's gonna be worth it for sure. So, I think you guys are really gonna get a kick out of it all. So. Okay. So, with that being said, I most certainly am, because my St. Francis Red Flash I made to the big dance. Yeah! Yeah, I saw that. They won like a 15-17 record, right? That's pretty cool. If Adam Petty lives, what if he replaces Mark Martin with Roush? Well, there's so many different possibilities and of what could happen and stuff like that. So, you never know, right? So, that reminds me, like I said, Louisville's playing for the ACC title. I don't know how they're doing currently. Well, I'd appreciate if they showed the score on there. That'd be nice. Well, you know what? Let's just do this. But anyway, yeah, that's all the updates I have currently. But I think things are coming along pretty well. I'm really excited to show you what's going to happen in 2000, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the rest of the 2000 season. Let's see, 3:08 to go in the first. We're tied 28 with Duke. Okay. Like I said, I don't know. Duke's gonna be hard to beat, but I'd be thrilled if they won. And if they don't, they don't. We're still in the tournament, so you know. Like I said, I'm just happy they're good again after the last 2 years. It sucked. But anyway, okay, let's get on to the next race. So, let me make sure I got the roster set for this. Okay, 99 Busch. So it will be the 1999 Busch Series. Perfect. And I found a fantasy track that I think could be fun. Scroll down to it. Make sure it's on net. So this is Meadowlands Speedway, a 1.999 mile track based in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This is a fantasy track. Somebody made this, I forgot who, but shout out to them. I remember seeing this track before and thought it was kind of unique, so it's got a very interesting layout to it. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So it's like half a mile and a half and half Indianapolis. It's like as if Charlotte and Indy had a baby, essentially. It's a unique layout for sure. It's very interesting, to say the least. So, yeah. 15-degree banking. Who ends Seabell streak tomorrow and why is it Larson? Oh, man. Auburn lost in the semifinal. Interesting. Okay. I think Larson's got a good shot tomorrow. I'd say Blaney and Logano will be favorites again. So, nice dunk. So, Florida, Tennessee for the SEC championship. Wow.
Drivers, to your cars.
All right. Let's look at our starting lineup here. Kelly Earnhardt on the pole. Jeff Gordon will start next to her in second. Y'all ain't ready for Cody Ware to break the streak. Yes. Alright, so we continue.
Drivers, to your cars.
Yeah, Michael McDowell on the pole. How about that? Alright. Kelly Earnhardt on pole. Jeff Gordon starting next to her. Blaze Alexander, Mike Skinner, Paige Jones, Tommy Kendall, Shauna Robinson, Matt Kenseth, Johnny Benson, Bobby Labonte, Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick, Kelly Williams, Dale Jr., Adam Petty, Tim Fudua, Kerry Earnhardt, Kenny Brack, Hutch Strickland, Mike Wallace, David Bonnet, Clifford Allison, Elliott Sadler, Mike McLaughlin, Jeff Fuller, Phil Parsons, Brett Bodine, Steve Park, David Green, Grant Adcox, Kevin LePage, Jimmy Johnson, Ricky Craven, Ricky Johnson, not related, Dave Blaney, Randy LaJoy, Mike Harmon, Hermie Sadler, Willie T. Ribbs, Bobby Hillin Jr., Scott Bloomquist, and Elton Sawyer. Yeah, I like the layout of this track. It's just very unique and very different. Oh my. 22 seconds left in the first. Louisville's up 38-33. Oh my god. Whew. Oh my. Anyway. Alright. Okay, 23 seconds. Gotcha. Alright. Let's do it. Remember, the start-finish line is here, and he gets it.
Drivers, start your engines.
All right. We are rolling. 42 cars in this race. 63 laps. I like the skyline in the background. That's nice. Like I said, a very, very unique setup here at this Meadowlands track. And Louisville leads at half. Well, there. How about that? Anyway, let's focus on this race here. Pace car down pit road. And we're going to go racing in the Meadowlands. Kelly Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, Blaze Alexander, Mike Skinner, Paige Jones, Tommy Kendall will lead the field to the green flag. And here we go. Green flag. As someone who's been to the Meadowlands, this track makes it look like it's actually cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Alexander jumps to second, Jones to third. Now this side of the track is like Indianapolis. The other side of the track is like your typical mile-and-a-half quad oval. So it's a very unique layout here, and start-finish line has a Talladega feel to it. And as yeah, the front stretch gives Michigan, California vibes too, so it's kind of like a hybrid. I like it. Imagine sitting in like the front stretch seats and you get a beautiful view of the New York skyline. That'd be cool. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Kelly Earnhardt still leading here. So you've got a fun battle for third here. Robinson and Pace Jones. There's your running order there. That's better. Sorry for the sneezing fit there. This track is called Meadowlands Speedway. It's a fictional track, but it's pretty cool, so... yeah, Meadowlands Speedway. Paige Jones moving up. Matt Kenseth moving up. Blaze Alexander could be on fire here. Could be under fire here shortly. It looks like everybody's going to stay put where they are now. Let me see here. We see Kelly Williams and Tony Stewart there. They're fighting for what looks like 7th position. Adam Petty back there behind them, as well as Tommy Kendall. William Stewart still side by side. Looks like Williams has moved up a spot. She's up to 7th. Mike Skinner trying to get past Tommy Kendall. That's for 11th place. See if Paige Jones can chase down Matt Kenseth's teammate there, Blaze Alexander. Looks like Paige Jones settling for 3rd now. Still Kelly Earnhardt out in front. Jeff Gordon and Matt Kenseth battle for position. That's for 4th place. There goes Gordon. Shauna Robinson trying to follow suit. Top 3 still stays the same. A little onboard action here. On board there with Paige Jones. So kind of curious what speeds they're reaching here. About 180 going into turn 3. Now Matt Kenseth trying to get to the quarter panel of the 1, not able to. Paige Jones goes up the track just a bit. But Jeff Gordon's going to stay right behind him. No, Gordon to the inside of Jones. The 2 Bill Davis Fords fighting it out as a DEI Chevrolet leads, followed by a Penske Ford, the 2 Bill Davis Fords, another Penske Ford, and a Sapco Pontiac, all in this front pack contending for the lead here. 12 laps complete here at the Meadowlands. And Jeff Gordon jumps to 3rd. Now he's going to try and chase down the 2 of Blaze Alexander. Jones back on the inside of Gordon. Looks like Jones is going to take 3rd place right back. And that's Circuit City Ford, and he will. Perhaps Shauna Robinson now trying to take advantage here. Excuse me. So we do have some interesting racing going on here. Kelly Earnhardt just continuing to pull away. Who's going to make the next move here? Will it be Paige Jones? Will it be Shauna Robinson? Will it be Jeff Gordon, perhaps? Gordon's going to go to the inside of Robinson here. Jeff Gordon will march back to fourth. Here comes Matt Kenseth now for fifth. But let's see here. Some real-life news. Montreal might be coming back, it looks like. So there's a lot of talks, deep negotiations that we could get Xfinity Truck there in 2026, Cup in 2027 perhaps. So that would be awesome if we could have a race in Canada and Mexico. And hopefully, and obviously, you know, the biggest thing is just getting the deal done. So kind of like the whole Dodge thing. Just get the deal done and we'll go from there. So that's always the first important step. So if that's the case, though, I'm really excited that they could be going to Montreal here in the near future. Jeff Gordon back to third, Robinson fourth, Kenseth now up to fifth. Paige Jones is going to fall back to sixth. But Blaise Alexander has held on to second pretty well for this entire race, and Kelly Earnhardt has been doing pretty well, half a second ahead of Alexander. Robinson trying to get to the quarter panel of the one. She's close. She's going to look to the inside as they come off turn 4. Gordon to the outside of Alexander. Could he try something here as they go into turn 1? Kelly Earnhardt's still holding a good lead here. Now Robinson's going to try and get past Gordon again. And looks like she's going to get it. Kenseth probably going to follow suit. Just judging by the trends. Robinson is still to the inside of Gordon. Still fighting for third. Blaise Alexander going to try and drive away from this situation. Yeah, this top 5 is pretty much checked out from the rest of the field, I'd say, as Shauna Robinson gets by. Kenseth still, he's getting held up, though. Paige Jones has a chance for a couple of spots here. Jones looks like he's going to get past Kenseth. Gordon will have to settle for where he is now in 4th. Let's take a look, run through the field real quick there. It's Kevin Harvick there in 18th. Tommy Kendall has dropped back to 17th. Wow. Mike Skinner shown in 13th. Excuse me. And Kelly Williams leads this other pack of cars. Again, the top 6 are just checked out from the rest of the field, as you see Shauna Robinson trying to find a way past Blaze Alexander. Kelly Earnhardt has been out in front. Hasn't really gained or lost ground at all. It's still just been a half second ahead. Robinson tried to get past Alexander on the outside. No luck. Here comes Jeff Gordon now in the 1. He's probably going to give the 2 a bit of a push right past her. Just about a third of the way through here at the Meadowlands. It's like Paige Jones, just a bit of musical chairs really around 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th place. Except Jeff Gordon's... I'm assuming Jeff Gordon went to pit then, if that's the case. So, if this goes green the whole way, then I am projecting this will be another field strategy race, and we could get another unexpected winner, perhaps. Here comes some more leaders down pit road now. So, down to the pit road speed here. Whew. Kelly Earnhardt, Blaze Alexander, Paige Jones, Matt Kenseth. I see Kenny Brack back there as well, leading a group of cars. There's the obligatory caution during green flag pit stops. There it is. Isn't that always the case? Alright, let's see what happened here. Looks like... No, not Elton Sawyer. Somebody went for a spin here. Looks like... Ooh. Looks like Ricky Johnson got turned by the 44, Bobby Labonte. And around he goes. And Ricky Craven nowhere to go. Oh, no. And another pile up here right after the fact. So what caused... Looks like a separate incident took place. Okay. Looks like Randy LaJoy and Jeff Fuller got together. Okay, Fuller hit Craven, hits Labonte, then goes right up in a pinball effect. Ooh, David Green hits Bobby Labonte as well. So 3 little incidents taking place here. Bobby Labonte being the part of 2 of them. Actually, all 3 of them. So yeah, it looked like... I think Ricky Johnson was trying to get down on pit road and it didn't work. Then Ricky Craven just slammed right into Ricky Johnson. The 09 hits the 44. And then the 36 hits the 09 right back into the 44. So, yeah, not a good going there for Bobby Labonte, for sure. So, bit of a plethora of incidents here on the front stretch. As, of course, this happens during green flag pit stops. It always does. So... We'll see where everybody shapes up here. Trying to figure out who's going to be leading. It looks like right now Shauna Robinson might be, but we'll see. Because this definitely jumbled up the field for sure. Here on, we're currently on lap 24 of 63. Well, Dale Jr. might be, but then again, I don't know if they're going to be put on the tail end of the lead lap, because that's the other thing, too, is sometimes when the field gets jumbled up during the timing of these cautions, that's what happens sometimes, is some guys will go to the tail end of the field. So, let's take a look here. Now they're going to hit the start-finish line. I forgot it's further down. So it looks like Robinson is the leader. And then it's Kelly Earnhardt, Blaze Alexander, Paige Jones. And then... why is my mind drawing a blank? Who's in the 22? Kenseth, duh. Kenseth, Brack, Gordon, Fudua, Williams, Kendall. So the field definitely got jumbled up here, and yeah, Robinson has some insurance between herself and second place by about 5.5 seconds. I think, let's see here. I would think we're going to get the one to go here. Yep, lights are off on the pace car. So yeah, and of course we got some lap cars joining in on the fun. Oh, this makes more sense. So that should put Kelly right behind Robinson. Yeah, this restart could be a little interesting. We're getting close to halfway. Oh boy. So yeah, Robinson, Earnhardt, Alexander, Jones, Kenseth, your top 5. So we're about to get back to business here. And the cars ahead of Robinson are basically at the tail end of the lead lap. So they're going to be fighting hard to make sure that they don't get lapped. Alright, coming off turn 4 and coming to the green. Coming to lap 27 of 63 here at the Meadowlands. And here we go. Back up through the gears. And green flag is back in the air. Alright, let's see how this goes. A couple of leaders have already cleared some of the lapped cars. But there's a bunch ahead of them still, especially those guys that are at the tail end of the lead lap. Robinson trying to separate some cars between herself and Kelly Earnhardt. She's already going hard to. She's going hard at work here to try and make that a possibility. But Blaze Alexander from out of nowhere. Kelly Earnhardt's been trapped behind Mike Skinner, so this allows for Alexander to jump to second and perhaps Paige Jones to third. Indeed, that will happen. Kelly Earnhardt, she's in some trouble here. She just cannot get past Mike Skinner right now. After having a dominating early run here, everything has suddenly changed, all in favor of Shauna Robinson. Ooh, I see smoke. We might have another. We might have a caution. Never mind. Okay, I saw some smoke though, so. Was it Elton Sawyer by any chance? I want to see because... Unless I'm going crazy, I thought I saw smoke. I want to check something real fast. Go through the field. Because it was in like... I want to check through turns 3 and 4 again. Maybe somebody just got loose or something. Well, I'm probably wrong. Right there. Anyway. Still Robinson out in front, and she's been picking off one lap car after another here. Blaze Alexander still second, but what feels like quite a ways away. Ooh, Tony Stewart went way up there on the track. That's right. Okay. So Robinson has about a 1.4 second lead over Alexander, who is back here. Actually struggling with some of the lapped cars here. Dave Blaney to the inside of him. Ooh, he's going to get past for sure. If you're Shauna Robinson, you could pretty much run away with it at this point. Here, we're looking at the second place car now. Now he's 2.2 seconds back. How about Kenny Brack out of nowhere? Now he's up to third. Where did he come from? Paige Jones back there in fourth. And your leader is right here. Hey, Pumpkin Nation, how you doing? Let's see. See some of these college basketball scores as well, because I know I'll be filling out a bracket for the tournament. Anyway. Again, now it's a 3.5 second lead for Shauna Robinson. Also, Pumpkin, I guess I'll say it again. The Super Sportsman, Stock GT, and Truck Series races are done for SNL 2000. I'm not going to reveal anything until everything is ready, but things are looking pretty good so far. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, we have a plan for Racing Infinity Volume 33, and we'll begin work on that here this weekend, and we'll let you know when that video comes out as well. So there's all of that. Oh man, Miami, Ohio lost by 2 to Akron. Man, may not be a whole lot of teams from this region in the tournament this year. St. John's won the Big East. See, Paige Jones is second, 5 seconds back, so let's take a look at that situation. Now he's going to get passed by Kenny Brack for second. Jeff Gordon is a lap down. He's listed... No, he's fit. No, he's not a lap down. What am I doing? Okay. Confused myself for a moment, so... This is the Busch Series. This is the 1999 Busch Series in Sunday Night Lights, so you don't have to worry about Rusty. This is a fictional track called Meadowlands Speedway. It's a track that's fictionally based in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Well, we got a fun battle for second here, at least. Excuse me. Excuse me. It's a unique shaped track because it's, turns 3 and 4 have the feel of Indianapolis, and turns 1 and 2 have the feel of like a 1.5 mile track. It's a 1.999 mile circuit. And when you look at the stands in pit road, it kind of gives you the vibe of Michigan and California. So it's a fun little hybrid track. Definitely recommend it. It's fun to use. So it looks like Kenny Brack is in second now. Third place is Paige Jones. Fourth place, Jeff Gordon. Robinson, meanwhile, with a 6.5 second lead. Absolutely taking over this race. Make this into a real racetrack. Well, I know back in the 2000s they were trying to get a track built in like Staten Island or something like that, but a lot of things just fell through. I don't know, a track to be located in East Rutherford though is pretty cool like this, and again, it's got a unique setup for sure. What track is this? It's a Meadowlands Speedway. So, like the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey, where the Jets and Giants play. So it's a Meadowlands Speedway. Nope. There's Shauna. I'm assuming they're going to have to pit at least one more time before anything else. And we'll see where things net out from there. The question is, when do they pit? I feel like it's coming up shortly. Rainbow Road. That would be interesting. That would be interesting for sure. An April Fool's idea. Yeah? You never know. Now it's an 8-second lead. Good lord. That's better. Okay. Alex and I have an April Fool's idea, but it will not be for this year, given the work on 2000. Yeah, it's just the timing of things, but we'll definitely do something for April Fool's at some point. We will. Let's see, the lead continues to build. 8.16. Like I said, I anticipate that everyone's still going to pit. At least one more time. Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me. Oh. I had to sneeze there. Who do you think will win Vegas tomorrow? I'm gonna say Logano. Logano or Larson. Or Reddick. Probably, that's probably a top three that I'd go with. Shauna may actually lap the whole field at this point. As I say that, she's going to go down pit road. Will we have a caution during pit stops, though? Because that's what happened last time, so who knows? Here's a nice spectator shot of the track for y'all. Like I said, it's a nice racetrack. Let's see. I'm anticipating the rest of the leaders are probably making their way down. You know, they're all just way behind. Unless they pit and I didn't realize. Well. Up! Oh my... What the... I was about to say, there it is. And this... Jesus, good God, what happened? So Elton Sawyer was, I think, trying to get down pit road. Johnny Benson just drives into him, collecting Steve Park in the process. Good God. Somebody slammed the 37, and then somebody just slams into Elton Sawyer here. God. Jesus. Kelly Williams, too. What in God's green earth happened here? Oh, Paige Jones. The heck? Did he hit the 98? By God, he hit the 98. By God Almighty! As God is my witness, he is broken in half, as Jim Ross would say. He's on his roof coming across the start-finish line. Yes. And kids, this is why we don't race back to the line. Exactly. At some point, I need to do the Better Cautions mod. Just to start playing around with that, and things can be a little more realistic at that point. Yeah, I want to say, yeah, the top 12 is still on the lead lap. But yeah, this is why we don't race back to the line. That's a friendly reminder. Excuse me. So yeah, I think Robinson will still be the leader. Paige Jones should be part, and maybe the rest of the season. Jesus. Gotta love NR 2003, you know? Gotta love NR. So let's see, where does that put us? Almost at, this is 14 to go, I'd say. So Jeff Gordon will be second, Blaze Alexander third, Kenny Brack fourth, and fifth is Kelly Earnhardt. With, of course, Shauna Robinson still leading the way. Yeah, she has just been dominating here in the late going. Lights are still on the pace car, so probably at least give it another lap before we go back to racing. And then we'll go from there. I'm assuming. I don't mind the West Coast swing, especially if you can get 3 races together, you know, and all that. So like 3 or 4 races together in one West swing. I don't have a problem with that. And obviously, you know, there could probably be like 2 or 3 that sprinkle throughout the year, like kind of like what we have now, since we kind of run Sonoma in the summer, and you know, we have a Phoenix race in the fall in Vegas as well. So, you know, I don't mind a West Coast swing if it makes things a little easier. Not have all of the West Coast tracks and races in one, but you know, kind of like what we have already. If that makes sense. And that's fair, you know, wanting them more spaced out. I can see what you mean by that. So let's see. We're gonna restart with 12 laps to go. It looks like. So looks like it'll be a 12-lap dash to the finish. Shauna Robinson leads. Jeff Gordon second, Blaze Alexander third, Katie Brack fourth, Kelly Earnhardt fifth, Hermie Sadler sixth, Matt Kenseth seventh, Glenn Allen Jr. is eighth. Yeah, and then Scott Bloomquist and Tim Feudala. Is it 99 of... Mike Harmon's in the 99. Wrong guy. Sorry. I knew I had the driver wrong the moment I said it. Okay. So it's Mike Harmon in the 99. That's right. Duh. Here we go. 12-lap dash to the finish. And here we go. Green flag back in the air. Will Shauna Robinson run away once again, or will somebody else jump into the equation? Let's find out. And it looks like Robinson has taken off already. She gets past Tommy Kendall there, who's a lapped car. At least unlike the last restart, she doesn't have to worry about driving through a bunch of the lapped cars. So life's a little bit easier there. Robinson pulls away, and the rest of the leaders not able to get around Tommy Kendall here. It would be interesting to see if Kendall could potentially catch Robinson or something along the lines of that. So I'm curious to see if he catches her or not, and perhaps brings the leaders with her. Let's see, David Bonnet, that's a lapped car. Adam Petty, that's a lapped car. And there's Blaze Alexander. Yeah, this will be the last race of the night. That'll put me at about 2 hours for the stream, and that'll be perfect. Like I said, had a bit of a rough start. I may know what to... I may have figured out a couple things with I guess it's more like a network problem with the PC, and then figure out what the heck's going on there. So, see if I can make the connection better. There might be a couple things I can try and do, like updating drivers and doing some different settings and stuff. So, hopefully that'll work, and next time when I stream, I can do it on the PC, and we won't have any problems. So, that's the hope anyway. Alright, 10 laps remaining for Shauna Robinson. 0.6 second lead over Jeff Gordon. There's your battle for third. That's Blaze Alexander and Kenny Brack. Solid run for Brack for sure. 8:59 to go. Duke is up by 9. Fudgesicles. Well, if we lose, we lose. We're still in the tournament anyway, so I can't complain too much. So, crashing the wall into the air goes Jeff Gordon. Yeah, if the race was long enough when you had another set of pit stops, it wouldn't surprise me. Really, it wouldn't. That was a wild wreck. Good God. Let's see. And then behind Brack, it's Kelly Earnhardt in fifth. Okay. I was looking at the wrong car for a moment. Fifth. Okay. Kenseth is sixth. Mike Harmon in seventh. How about that? Followed by Hermie Sadler. Good runs for those guys here today. They've escaped some of the carnage, as well as Scott Bloomquist sitting in ninth. And then rounding out the top 10 there is Tim Fudua in the 11 car. Nice to see some of these smaller teams have good runs. So, excuse me. How about that? Things are kind of calm and mellow now. Yeah, so I know I forgot to mention, I think it was Corey Heim that won the truck race. I admit I didn't see much of the truck race just because I had to go to bed and I had a early bird shift this morning, so, and it started late and they had a delay, so yeah. And I said this morning I woke up, we were under a tornado watch, but luckily there wasn't really anything too threatening by the time the storm system reached here, so it was worse when it was out west and down south. Especially down south. I know a bunch of tornadoes hit Mississippi and all that, so. Apparently it is raining in Vegas. For some reason, I'm not surprised. Hopefully, you know what? Rain now so it doesn't rain during the race tomorrow. How about that? So I think that's fair. That's a fair deal, right? I think we can all agree to that. Robinson extends her lead to about almost a second and a half. Just a handful of laps to go here. So that's, I believe, 5 laps to go now for Shauna Robinson. And like I said, I apologize for the technical difficulties I had earlier. And I initially started the stream and all that. So, how do you feel about the Mexico race this season? I'm excited for it. I know there was some weird rumor about like they were gonna move it to Daytona and there were issues, but I don't know. It didn't. I'll be brief on this, but it didn't add up because it was like, well, they just had some drivers down there, literally like a few days ago, and they just did some more promotional stuff. So. And they said the race is happening, so I'm assuming it was like they have a contingency plan in case something happened, right? So it doesn't hurt to have them. But in the end, I'm excited about the Mexico race. I think a race like that is really good exposure for NASCAR. It's gonna be it's gonna be good for the sport. You know, races like this are gonna be good, and it's gonna bring more international attention to NASCAR. Even if we had Montreal in the coming years, same deal there. You know, and. You know, there's a lot of fans in Mexico, and there's a lot of fans in Canada, and trust me, they want to see the Cup Series. I'm pretty sure of that. So, you know, it's got to be special, especially for a guy like Daniel Suarez. He gets to, you know, go to his home country and get to race in front of his folks. That's awesome. International races are good, and, you know, you look at what the NFL's been, and I'm not saying, like, half the schedule should be international races, but 2 or 3, you know, I think that's a good number. But, you know, think about the NFL and what they do with all the international games they're doing. And they're doing more and more and more, it feels like. Think about the MLB. I think they're doing their games in Tokyo. And, of course, Japan is a big baseball country. And I know they do games in London, too. And even to an extent, I know this is different, but WWE also doing a lot. They're doing some international shows right now. They just had a show in Barcelona, and the European crowds are fun, so it makes me think, like, what if NASCAR had a race in Europe? You know, would the crowd be that? I think the crowd would be that energetic, and that would be cool to have. You know, that would be cool to have. So, yeah, I think Mexico, I'm excited for that. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun weekend. And it's going to be a good weekend for the sport. So, Mother Nature better stay away. Good Lord. So, I have to say that just because it feels like every other big race we get, like Chicago and the Coliseum, get interrupted by rain. But, so, yeah, I think Mexico's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. So, it's about time the Cup Series has an international date, even if it's across the border. Still, it's an international date, and it's a good start. We get to grow the exposure. We get to develop more of an international fan base, and in this day and age, I think that's important, especially how interconnected the world is now. So, NASCAR at Silverstone, that'd be cool. That'd be pretty cool. There's certainly some tracks out there NASCAR could race at. There's certainly some tracks out there that NASCAR could race at. White flag, by the way, for Shauna Robinson. As you can tell, she has pulled away, and she is going to go on and win the NASCAR Busch Series race at Meadowlands Speedway. Shauna Robinson gets the win. Definitely a dominating performance from her. Yeah, there's all sorts of different tracks. Red Bull Ring could be fun. Silverstone, if you're talking Europe tracks. The Catalunya track would be cool, considering that F1's going to be leaving that place for Madrid. There's all sorts of different options, but obviously right now you start off with Mexico, Canada, build off of that, and then eventually figure out, let's do a race in Europe, let's do a race in Japan, and stuff like that. So, and then eventually, NASCAR becomes an even bigger deal because now, and there may be fans in places that we haven't even thought about. We're like, wow, we have fans there? Like for the Daytona 500, people from 44 different countries came over to Daytona to see them race. And I can vouch for that because my friends met some guys from Brazil who raced down in Brazil. We ran into some guys from Sweden who had a tricked out Bill Elliott Ford Thunderbird that looked like his old Coors car, so that was cool. And they're from Sweden. They imported it from Sweden. I'm like, that is some dedication. That is awesome. So yeah, Hockenheim could be cool, but yeah, there's your final results there and all that. Definitely a dominating performance. Not looking good for my Cardinals currently, but what can you do? Like I said, I'm proud of them regardless. I'm just happy we're playing good again. So, I know somebody here mentioned St. Francis. I think they're projected to play in one of the play-in games in Dayton currently. So, I think Louisville was projected. Now they're projected to be a 6. Okay. I don't mind that. It's not too bad. But anyhow, yeah. So I'll stick around a couple more minutes if you guys want to ask any questions or talk about anything. Of course, I know we've been talking about the international stuffs and all that. So, like I said, I think it's awesome that NASCAR has, they have a Canada series, they have a Mexico series, they have the Euro series, and all that. So, that kind of stuff is good. It just builds more exposure for the sport, and that's what you want, to attract more people and bring in more fans and continue to build the brand and the product and stuff like that. So, like I said, I'm really excited about Mexico. I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, I'd like to get out to the Chicago race this year if I can. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And it's within driving distance. Any SNL art questions that don't involve giving things away? Yeah, and if you guys got any questions, feel free to ask away before I close things out for the night. So yeah, like I said, Sunday Night Lights 2000, things are looking pretty good. Not going to give anything away or show anything until we get closer to the release, but Stock GT, Super Sportsman, trucks, they're done. The races are done there, so I will be working on IROC this weekend, as well as getting things kicked off for Racing Infinity Volume 33. We have a plan in place now, and we're going to get to work on that as well. So, those are like the channel updates for you guys and all that. And Like I said, one last time, apologies for the technical difficulties at the start. In terms of a release date for SNL 2000, I can't really figure that out just quite yet. But once I get closer to getting like the Cup Series done and getting footage recorded, then I can estimate better on a release date. Because I don't want to say like, oh, it's going to come out in April, and then maybe I have a couple issues, and then it may not come out in April, right? So I don't want to say anything. I don't want to promise anything, and then I'm not able to deliver it. So I want to be able to deliver the promises. So once we get closer to the video itself being worked on and everything else, then I can sit there and say, okay, here's a good idea of when the video will come out, just to make life a little easier, right? Because I don't want to quickly like guarantee anything yet. So like I said, still in the process of just getting the races done and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. And then, of course, Racing Infinity Volume 33. Same thing. Once I get that going, once I get the race going and the footage, and once everything's good, then I can figure out, okay, here's what's going to be a good release date for that video. So, of course, I try to give myself a deadline too, but still want to pick a good time to say, okay, this is a good time for this video to come out. I'll have time to make sure it's good, make sure it's edited well, and stuff of that nature. So, just hit over 2 hours for this stream. Not too bad. Not too bad. So yeah, any other questions before I log off for the night? Again, I really appreciate the support from you guys, and I seriously appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot to me that you guys really enjoy these videos and the streams and everything else. So, like I said, thank you all so much for your support. It means the world, so I really appreciate it. Besides that, there's not really a whole lot else I can think of at the moment to talk about, so yeah. Let's see. Check something real quick. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, with that being said, I'll go ahead and wrap things up here. So, again, thank you guys so much, as always, for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We had a wild ending to the truck race with some field strategy being played in. And then, of course, dominating performance in the Busch race that we did there. So, it was fun. And again, I appreciate you guys as always. And stay tuned for more updates regarding Racing Infinity, Sunday Night Lights 2000, and whatever else. I promise you, 2000 is going to be awesome. It's going to be big, for sure. So, it's going to be big. So, alright. So, with that, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for more updates, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good night, y'all.